Am I going to get more horsepower out of my car by installing an air dam? Let's check it out. No, I'm not going to get more horsepower. There's all over the internet and all over the forums saying that people added these, some found them useless, some said maybe 5 to 10 degrees cooler in their engine. Let's talk about the cooling of C4 Corvettes. Well, as you can see, there's no grill. There's no radiator exposed here. There's no openings, nothing here. Smooth lines. But these things are bottom breathers, bottom eaters. The air comes underneath the car and then up into the air box and into the radiator and into the, the engine area and all that where it's supposed to go. But the air comes here. They came from the factory with air dams, plastic pieces that were mounted under there. But sometimes over 30 years of use, driving, abuse, some of the pieces fall off. So today, I'm going to install a big mouth air dam to get more air up in there to cool off this car. Thanks for looking at the video. So here's the box. Came from Corvette Central. This is the air dam, the big mouth air dam. It was wrapped a little better than this, but I'm showing you what was in there. It's got the instructions, it's got the hardware. Stuff for a drawing. The previous owner bought the kit a couple years ago, and I'll show you what the price was. $180 something, and then out the door was around $200 for this. Pretty stout piece of steel. So we'll see what we can do. And according to the instructions, this is about what you'll need to install this. You can use a 10mm or a 3/8 wrench. They're very similar. They hold on to the nuts well. Phillips screwdriver for the head. The fasteners. A small level. And that's so you can make sure your template is in line with your car and it's level, so you can measure the degrees of the opening accurately for the air dam. You'll also need the instructions. As I've shown previously, I printed them off. Well, let's see how simple it is. This is what it looks like before. Plastic pieces here. The previous owner had a dirt driveway, and it was high in the middle, probably wore it out then. And then the other plastic piece over here. So this air dam is meant to replace that. It will mount between this frame space here and the one right here. Have to drill some holes, but that's where it's going to be. It's also not going to stick down past those other plastic pieces. That's one of the other important things about it. So whatever your car is, it's not going to stick down past those plastic pieces. So it's not going to be even lower than it is already. I made marks on the piece so I could tell where I want it in the alignment. So I made marks with a marker, black marker. I can see it plenty well enough, and that just lets me guide it so I can keep my holes drilled where I need to, things like that. The fascia right up here will lift up just a little bit over the skid plate. But that's where it's going to mount. There is already one mounting hole in the piece towards the back. So that's the one piece you put in first, and then you drill the front one into the skid plate, the skid bar here, to give it the strength it needs to keep it from flexing, bending, loosening, etc. For those of you wondering, I use the template to measure the top of the template for being level. I know it's folded right now, but for being level, and get the angle of the air down. That's what that template is for. That's how I used it anyway. Again, I'm not saying this is the right way, the only way. This is the way I did it. That's a 3/16 hole for the first side. Once you got the hole drilled, you start putting the hardware in. The back of it is resting up against the frame, the brace, the radiator brace that is. So it's actually being held up by the piece of metal between the frame and this missing plastic air dam, or the fiberglass air dam. So that's holding it up in the back. And as you can see, it's angled, so it's actually pushing the air up into the radiator. And yet it's still low profile. So now I just got to tighten that screw down and do the same for the other side. All right, is it perfect? No, it's not. I even had to modify how I put it on there, because 30 years of driving this car, there's things that have changed on it, but two very good bolts that are in the previously drilled holes. Like I said, the back of it is resting up against the frame. Back there in that corner, you can see it better. It's strong. When you push on it, the whole car moves. So I'm content with it. Is it going to give me horsepower? No. Is it going to make my engine cooler by 5 to 10 degrees? Probably. And then eventually I may even put a small screen over it to keep leaves and other debris out. But for now, I need air up there, and this is going to work. Thanks for checking out my videos. Check out Uncle Penn's Garage on Instagram. Thanks a lot. Like, subscribe, appreciate it. Out.